Hello gamers and watchers. Check it, man, check it. Svenison on the left here. Svenison is actually the one, the only, the mighty Stefano. I know what you're thinking. Stefano retired a couple of years back, right? But he is back in full effect to take part in the EMS Craft League. Who'd have thought it? Turns out he appears to have switched to Terran from the Zerg role that made him famous. But let's see how he does. Let's see if it is indeed the real Stefano, the one, the only, the greatest Zerg ever to have lived and breathed. Or if it's our Stefano. Down in the bottom left we have got Liathee, that guy. And up here we have Svenison, Stefano. So Stefano has got the SCV out, and if we look we can see that is a bit of shift clicking here. He has sent that, oh, where has he sent it? Here, there and everywhere. So that is going to bounce around the map and see what there is to see. Meanwhile, Liathee, I'm going to go with Liathee. I'm just going to stick with that. Liathee is building a barracks here and has got his depot done. Not building any workers though, which concerns me a little bit. In the early game, always be building workers. Just never stop with the building of workers. I'd let you off with stopping building workers once you have 3 saturated bases, but not before. So the SCV did have that scouting pattern, but I'm not sure if any attention is being paid to it by Stefano. I don't know if he's caught a glimpse of that or not. Let's just check. Stefano has not caught a glimpse of that. So actually, despite sending the SCV to scout in the spawning locations, he's seen nothing. Didn't go quite deep enough. So the two builds pretty similar. Svenison or Stefano in the top right, also not building SCVs, mining with 1 worker in gas. Liathee, with the 2 racks now finished, is building marines, as we can see. So both players just going to get a couple of marines out on the map and see what there is to see. Yes. If we look up on the top right, we can see the supply. As you start to throw down more buildings, it's always worth bearing in mind that the more barracks you have, the quicker you can eat through supply. And as a general rule, if you're playing off 1 base, really you probably need to have 1 SCV constantly building supply depots once your production is fully up and running. If you're on 2 bases, you need a couple of SCVs, literally constantly building supply depots. And it's always worth just keeping an eye on this, because bearing in mind the time it takes for a depot to build, if you're trying to get marines out fairly quickly, if you see 20 of 23, you want to throw down that supply depot then, so that it finishes up in time, rather than waiting for the game to warn you that you're supply blocked. So it's always worth just trying to remind yourself as you play to just glance up in that top right repetitively. If you get into the habit of just glancing up there, that serves a couple of purposes. Lets you see if you're going to be I am indeed casting Michael, if you're going to get supply blocked, but also sort of warns you if, for example, you are likely to, if you've got a huge amount of money in the bank and you need to spend it. Bit of one-handed type in there. Okay, good. So in the bottom left we see these 4 racks. So Liathee going to be pumping out these marines, and up in the top right we see 2 racks idle. We also see this engineering bay available for upgrades, but no upgrades coming out of it just yet. He does have enough gas for upgrades. He does have the tech lab here, so for me, if I'm building marines, arguably the first upgrade I would get tends to be stim, because stim takes a long time to complete, so you want to start that early so that it's finished in time. And combat shield is just massive. 10 life, 10 extra life that will give a marine. Let me show you a marine. 45 health, so that's a significant boost. 20%, 22.5% or whatever it is, boost to the health of a marine, which is substantial, and that can make a big difference in any early engagements. So if you're looking to move out early in the game, then probably combat shield first. If you're not looking to put on any really early aggression, then certainly stim pack first, because it takes such a long time. It's best to get it started early, and if you are going to be teching up, most likely you'll have more than one tech lab, so you can get combat shield started concurrently as well. Liathee down in the bottom left here, no orbital command on that, and no orbital command here for Stefano. Stefano, maybe you should stick with Zerg. That's not the sort of thing the great Stefano sort of misses. But what we do have is a large number of racks coming down. So what I'm slightly confused about, if you're building these extra racks, why aren't the racks that you already have producing something? You know, if you feel that you need extra barracks, well, you should certainly be churning stuff out of the barracks that you do have. And Liathee is definitely doing that. Look at this. You know, perhaps he has 4 of them hotkeyed, or maybe this one has just finished up. But these ones queued, this one idle. But nevertheless, he is churning out a significant number of Marines. There you have, what is that, 30 Marines. So, you know, gearing up nicely. Stefano does have this expansion done, but not mining from it just yet. If we have a quick pick at the income tabs, we can see that actually Liathee's slightly ahead, and that could just be that his main is more saturated, 12 workers compared to 10. Really, at this stage, no excuse for not having those mineral lines saturated, to be honest. However, neither player is really badly off for minerals, so you know, it isn't a limiting factor for either of them, but it should be, but it's not. Sorry, just having a sip of water. That's definitely water, fizzy water. Yeah, so these Marines are going to go and have a poke. They're going to go and have a look around. Is it still the case that Stefano doesn't know where his opponent is? It is. So where is he sending these Marines? He's sending them up in here to the leftmost position. I think the SCV did go deep enough in there to confirm that that is not where his opponent is. So maybe he feels that his SCV would have seen this and is perhaps a bit confused at this stage. So off they go again, both players just utterly unaware of each other's presence. So at this stage of the game, if you've built an eBay, you know, go ahead and use it. If you're building an engineering bay, it's either for upgrades or so that you can build turrets if you're worried about your opponent attacking with some sort of early aggression with a flying thing. Maybe you're against a Protoss and you fear the Oracle. Maybe it's a Zerg and you think there might be Mutalisks coming, a Cloak Banshee from a Terran. You know, an early eBay is definitely something that's worth doing. It doesn't cost you gas to build the eBay, and it doesn't cost gas for a turret. So, you know, I've got nothing against an early eBay if you're going to use it to throw down a turret. If you are doing that, center of the mineral line here is generally the position that will protect all of your workers from aggression from something like an Oracle, no matter what angle it comes in at. So in the middle of the mineral line is where you would tend to plant that. Does marginally slow down these workers as they go to and fro, but it's, you know, it's not really any sort of big deal. Okay, looks like we are going to see some bloodshed. This Marine is going to get shot by a tank and the other one get riddled by this group of Marines. So Liathee can be, oh my goodness, what's happening here? It's a Reaper going ham, absolutely going ham in the mineral line, uncontested, and then foolishly walks past these Marines who were just standing cleaning their weapons. So maybe only 1 or 2 kills for the Reaper. Looks like it could have been more with some micro, because look, the Reaper has damaged a lot of these, you know, and if you look at the collective damage done to these, if you added that up and put it onto just 1 or 2 SCVs, they'd both be dead. So the Reaper left to its own devices, not as efficient as it should be. Stefano has certainly the tech advantage with the factory, able to make siege tanks with the... this isn't an engagement you can win though. That's a huge number of Marines, and that's not a good time to siege up. It's a good time to run. It's a good time to run quite fast. These Marines, you need to get them back home as well, and if I see that moving out, I am definitely throwing down bunkers. I'm throwing them down in this position. Possibly over here, but that's a bit far away. I'm building a medevac, I'm building a siege tank. This tank, you know, you need it over here. It needs to be sieged up. It needs to be in a position where it can be defended, but it can rain down fire. All of those things need to be happening, Stefano. Are any of those things happening? They're not. The Marines are coming out one at a time, but look, they're not rallied anywhere, so they're spread out. If you click them in, they'll go in one at a time and get absolutely mauled. This could be trouble, and I think this is going to be trouble. There are no bunkers, there are no sieged up tanks, there is no sort of defensive stance here, and these Marines are just going to do whatever they please. That's a huge number of Marines. The only really way that Stefano has a hope of dealing with this is to get these tanks sieged. They need to be sieged. Good, this is good, and you need a defensive position here. You need a bunker. Get this SCV building. Get these Marines that are get these Marines that are spread out up here in front of the tanks. You don't want those Marines to be able to get to the tanks. You know, by all means, sacrifice these Marines on a front line in order to hold these Marines at bay for long enough for the tanks to do their work. He's brought the SCVs up, and I don't mind that. The SCVs can be repairing the tanks so that when the Marines do move in for the kill, the tanks will stay alive that little bit longer. A liberation zone here is definitely what you need. Quick, needs to be quick. There we go. So these Marines are going to take a piston as they come through here. Look at the amount of damage these tanks are shelling out. That is absolutely brutal. If we click on them, we can see 13 kills, 11 kills. Oh my goodness, it was a valiant attempt at a hold, but unfortunately just too many. I don't know what that little graphical glitch was. Just too many Marines from Liathee, and they have flattened Stefano's defence, unfortunately. I can't help but think that, you know, slightly quicker reactions to that. You could have had a bunker. You could have had your siege tanks a bit further forward to have delayed the Marines and hit some of the reinforcements coming up there. Yeah, possibly could have been slightly different, but this, oh no, that's horrible, isn't it? Oh, don't siege, no. Okay, so that looks like none. I know, because I think I was there at the time, that this is not the end of this game. This should be the end of this game, but it is not. So, stuff dying in the main here. But what is this I see? I see the dirty turn play of just fly away, fly to where you can't be found. But Liathee's onto him, has dispatched these Marines to pick it off quick. You need to shoot it, you do need to shoot it. This is where, you know, if you've researched stim, you can stim into this command center, make sure you nail it. This command center surely not going to survive. You need to be shooting it. All the Marines really need to do is get it into the red health so it catches fire. So you need, ideally, a bit of stutter stepping wouldn't go astray, so you can get onto this. So the CC is on fire, but it's still got a reasonable amount of health. Can Stefano keep this alive? Can he? It is going to need some serious repairing. It is going to need some repairing. Can he keep it alive? It's not looking like it. That needs to land, and then it needs an SCV to be built in order to repair it. There are no SCVs nearby, so it looks to me like this command center might not make it. He's flying it an awfully long way, and it surely can't make that. It simply can't. Oh no, no, it's dead. It's a dead command center. So, that, you would think, is surely GG. But no. So, Liathee, what are you doing? You are at home, you've got all these workers mining a single mineral patch. Might I suggest to you that you expand? That would be a useful thing to do. You know that your opponent isn't quitting. You can see that he is building the CC. You can see that he is, you know, a little bit salty about this and isn't going to be giving it up anytime soon. So what do you do about that? Build stuff. You know, don't take your foot off the pedal. Build more stuff. Spread the Marines around the map. Make sure you've got every mineral patch covered. You know, all you've got to do is post a couple of Marines on each mineral patch in order to make sure that your opponent can't just muck about and sort of waste your time. The other thing you could be doing, look, you've got plenty of money in the bank, so you could be dropping factory and a starport so that you can get something flying up and about, because this is the sort of map. Look at all this dead space. You can fly a command center all the way over here, couldn't you? And unless your opponent has something that flies, they can't find that, and you can force the draw. So this command center now finished for Svenison. Building a reactor, has got money in the bank, has got some spare supply, so potentially could sneak out a few marines. The problem is, what are those marines going to get done? Even if they find their way in here past this crowd, what are they going to do? Kill SCVs? Well, those SCVs aren't doing anything anyway, so it's a bit weird. I guess you could argue that there is potential to force a draw from this position if Liathee didn't have any money, and obviously Svenison has no way of knowing how much money or otherwise he has. If you can shoot down the command center, then Liathee would have no way of building a new command center because he wouldn't have the money for it. Neither would he have any means to build air, and you can fly your command center into the corner, and that would be a draw. However, I don't think that's the way it's going to go down. I think what's really going to happen is that we're going to have a long period of mucking about while Liathee tries to find his opponent. Let's just zip things along a little bit. Look, they're like stim marines, only they're not. This barracks just flying about, being a bit annoying. Should you find yourself in this type of position, splitting up your units is what it's all about. Liathee has got a large number of marines, like 61 marines, and you know that your opponent has exactly nothing. So you don't need an army of 61 marines because there's nothing that's going to fight it. All you need to do is be grabbing handfuls of these marines and sending them on patrol patterns across these mineral patches, another group across the mineral patches up here, another group across these 3 mineral patches down here, so that your opponent has nowhere to run, nowhere to land. The other thing you need to be doing is getting this starport busy, getting this starport producing some flying units, so that you can fly Vikings around, and if these buildings try and lift up and fly away from your marines, you can shoot them. And it's almost like he can hear me. Look at this, the marines are spreading out, they are moving around the map, so he knows his opponent has re-established himself in his men. And he's going to move out and deal with that. But look, he's used the F2 key. Look at them all go. Marines from every part of the map. And that's the error. Don't do that. Just grab the marines that you need to kill this and leave those other marines on the mineral patches around the map so that your opponent can't do the same stunt again. Given what he did last time, why haven't you already got 20 marines down here ready to catch the command center when it flies away? So these bunkers are a good choice. Liathee needs to organise these marines a bit. Stop shooting random buildings when you need to kill the bunker first. But what's this? Flying command centre. Had you had that little batch of marines down at the bottom, you could have dealt with. Look, where are they going? Why have you done that, Liathee? Look, there was stuff here that you needed to kill. And back he goes. And look, this is a lot of mucking about, isn't it? An awful lot of mucking about. Another swath of marines and stuff crossing the map, but they're all heading to the same place. You need to spread out. If your opponent is going to muck you about and just be the master of salt, well then you need to spread your forces around the map as much as possible so that wherever they go you can see them. So that's what he needs to get done here. I like that there are now a couple of Vikings. I'm not sure why he's landing them. I think those 60 Marines can probably cope with that supply depot. I guess the engineering bay could have turned nasty at every moment, but I don't think you needed to land the Vikings. They need to be on a pattern, just moving, sweeping backward and forward across the map to find stuff. You need stuff that flies, has that grip bonus that it doesn't have to path around. It will just hello. Were you looking? There was a big thing there. Don't know if you saw it. It was like some sort of flying building. Looks like Svenison got away with that, or did he? Does Liathee know that this is here? Did he notice it? He must have. He's brought his units back to that position, but the Viking will now see it, and does. So you are busted, Svenison. It's worth pointing out that if your opponent has still got a command center, they will not be revealed. So you will get a message if your opponent has their Nexus command center. You will get a message that they're being revealed, and you will be able to see the location of any of their buildings, whether they're airborne or not. So the fact that Liathee has not had that, he knows that his opponent does have a command center somewhere on the map, and he isn't going to find it by leaving his Marines parked here. I think we can be confident that this is where it isn't. So really, we are now at the 23-minute mark, and this game has already gone on for sort of 10 minutes longer than it needed to. I implore my EMS StarCraft leaguers to, one, if you have lost, just GG and quit, and two, if your opponent does decide to be a bit salty, spread stuff out, spread it around the map, and don't use F2 and grab everything to end up all in the same place again. You don't need everything to kill this. Leave those units spread out. Just leave one unit on each mineral patch. That way, you know that your opponent cannot sneak your command center out. Okay, this will surely now be the end. Look, the command center, he's aiming to fly away again. These Marines, still no upgrades, still no stim at the 27-minute mark. Not that Liathee needs upgrades, I suppose, at this point. He is uncontested. But again, divide these up, have some of them killing the rocks so that you can chase the command center, while a handful of them just clean up these buildings. The buildings don't shoot back. You don't need all of these units to be dealing with that. You need to be chasing down this command center. These reinforcements that are on the way, where are they off to? Why aren't they finding the command center? I don't know. Look at these 7 Marines that are on the map. Look at 7 Marines. Yeah, it's painful, isn't it? It's painful. So, Green Acres again. This 3v3 map, very old 3v3 map, proving popular for our EMS League 1v1s for reasons unknown. Look, the command center flying away again. If you still had that Marine posted here, okay, it's only a single Marine, but you'd know exactly where the command center was, and this command center would be doing damage and would be preventing any SCVs from popping out. Sorry, the Marine would be doing damage. So, GG and all that. I'm just going to run this at times 8 until it's over. Oh, there's the command center in the corner. So salty indeed. Indeed. Yeah. Very, very salty. Look at this. Building at the bottom as well. Marines are going to mop that up. Where's he off to? He's just flying about the place now. He's mocking you, Liathee. He's mocking your decision to not have a Marine on every single mineral patch on the map. Why would you do it? Kind of looks funny on the mini-map at times, doesn't it? It's like little swarms of things buzzing around. Look at him go. How much money has he got? Look, he's still got 1,000 minerals in the bank. So, how dare you've been rumbled. This time there is flying stuff, and surely that's the end of the game. Thank goodness for that. That was it was beginning to get a bit much, wasn't it? Well, GG, there it is. So Liathee in game 1 of round 1 takes out the mighty Stefano. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah. I don't know what time it is, but depending on the time, I might squeeze in another cast, because I do have a couple of other games ready to be cast from the last few days. So you never know, I might be back soon. GG.